Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another F1 2020 My Team video. It is race number 8 of the Formula 1 campaign. We are about to enter the streets of Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Similar to Vietnam and Monaco races we did earlier this season. In fact, Monaco, the last race we did, this is yet another street city circuit. And even though Monaco was a user-friendly circuit compared to racing against the AI, these street circuits tend to be the most difficult tracks on the schedule. You know, definitely in game, I can only assume it's pretty difficult in real life as well. Of course, I have no merit saying that. I'm not a Formula 1 driver, a race car driver at all. But, you know, I can only assume these street circuits are not exactly easy to master. So, I don't have high expectations going into this race. So, let's say that. Like, Monaco, I actually felt really good about that race going into it. And it proved us getting a P6, getting back a points result after a bit of a stinker in Spain. But I think we might have more of a result like we had in Spain today, because practice was not looking too promising for us. Free practice 1 was in the rain. Free practice 2, we got most of our race programs done, so we could apply for another upgrade, as we are now at one-shot qualifying. As we always do with this series, it's one-shot qualifying, so we can get this done and get to the race. And of course, with this track having a lot of long straightaways, we decided to go with more of a package that tailors to top speed and not exactly to handling of the car, which is going to hurt us for, you know, the rest of the lap through all of these tricky turns. But, you know, with how long the two main straightaways are at Azerbaijan, the top speed should hopefully at least even out, if not help us out at the end of the day. So you see, we are P11 right now, which is definitely above where I expected to be. I honestly thought we were going to qualify dead last, because I do not think I'm good at this track at all. So we are now P7, P8, flirting with best of the rest territory, which I never thought we would see that day. The qualifying sim that we did was telling us we would qualify pretty badly, so this is shocking to say the least, as we are now in P11. It looks like Charles Leclerc is on provisional pole. We try to go deep on the brakes there, move up to P9, and man, P9 would be pretty solid, P10 as well. But I honestly do not really want to qualify in the top 10 that badly. I'd prefer to qualify outside the top 10 so we can have our own choice of tire compound to start the race. So as we drop down to P11, that's actually a welcoming sight. I would literally rather qualify P11 than P10. That's just the way Formula 1 works. I think that's the way it works in real life as well. Sometimes we would just rather qualify P11 than P10, and that's exactly what we do. We qualify 11th for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, so that's definitely still way above where I thought we would qualify. That's way above where our teammate Mazepin has qualified. So Mazepin, we scroll down, he is 6/10 off the pace. So once again, Mazepin's days are definitely numbered. I don't know how many more races we'll have with him as a teammate, but it won't be too much longer as we go to Claire.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Are you happy with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow?
Yeah, I would say definitely above expectations, as we mentioned there. Maybe we'll boost up the aero department since we just applied for an aero upgrade. Seems like the smart idea, right? So, yeah, let's go for it.
Do you think this team are performing as well as they could do?
You know, honestly, don't care. Like, is that an option? We could technically do no comment, but you don't want to piss off the media, so always answer the question.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And that is that. So we qualify not ahead of Giovinazzi, but we are on pace to win the rivalry. We just have to have a decent race, which hopefully we can have as we go to race day.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, your no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness, and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Alexander Albon, and Verstappen, Perez, Raikkonen, Stroll, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Cook, Ricciardo, Romain Grosjean, and Norris, Ocon, Magnussen, Carlos Sainz, and Daniel Kvyat, Gasly, Mazepin, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Well, looking at the strategy, qualifying P11 was probably actually worse than qualifying P10, because going softs to hards or mediums to hards does not make too much of a difference. Nonetheless, we'll go mediums to hard just so we don't have to run on the softs that we qualified with. 5 red lights on and 5 red lights out. We are underway with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's a pretty good getaway for us. We immediately go to the inside, trying to go as far to the inside as we can, get as many cars as we can on these opening couple of corners, especially with the medium tires. Once we make these passes, we may not even hold these positions for too long above the likes of Sergio Perez and Antonio Giovinazzi. Local yellow behind us, but I don't think anything really happened. Maybe some contact behind as we use all of our battery to make sure Sergio Perez stays behind us. Of course, no love lost between ourselves and Perez after the race in China when we made contact a couple of times. So we jump our rival Giovinazzi, we jump Perez, and one more other car to go from P11 to P8. We slot behind Kimi Raikkonen, who looks like he's best of the rest in his Alfa Romeo. We take a replay look at the start, and you see we immediately dart to the inside, and didn't exactly go too late on the brakes. It's just the AI more so went conservative, trying to stay off of each other. We made our own imaginary third lane to the inside to make our move, as you see Sergio Perez is trying to make his move. He is all over the back of us. He's got all the slipstream. He's got the Mercedes power unit, the same power unit we have, but he tucks back behind us. Maybe he's waiting to make the move at the end of the straightaway, but he's going to wait too long because Giovinazzi's going to the outside of Perez and myself. A double overtake attempt, which is not going to stick, but the Alpha nonetheless gets by Sergio Perez. Now looking to get by us on the next lap. This time DRS is activated, and that's all Giovinazzi needs to cleanly get by us and cover us off as we go into the first corner. Thought about taking the look, thought about going for the re-overtake, but yeah, that move was just not there. The good news is we're going to get DRS down the second main straightaway on Giovinazzi, and we're going to put our battery up just to try to get away from Sergio Perez and maybe put the attack on Giovinazzi as we go super late, and that's going to work. That is going to work, and Giovinazzi gets re-overtaken by Sergio Perez. I didn't really think we were going to make that move stick, but we did nonetheless. We fast forward to lap 4. Sergio Perez all over the back of us. Sergio's probably going to have to make a pit stop in 2 to 3 laps, so all of this fighting may not be worth much. Whoa, Perez! He's out! Perez is out! Safety car! And Perez is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He crashes on the straightaway while trying to overtake us, and we dive into the pit lane to hopefully make our one and only pit stop. We're going to check on the hards hopefully until the end of the race. We look at a replay on board with Sergio Perez, and he just lost it. He just straight up lost it. I don't know what happened. We didn't really do it. We definitely did not make contact. We didn't come close to making contact. I didn't really make any moves to defend Sergio Perez's attack. I knew we were pretty much helpless against Perez with him having DRS the same way Giovinazzi attacked us the previous lap. I really let's take another look here because I'm simply befuddled that Perez lost it behind us. And remember, I believe it was lap 2, Perez tried to make a similar attack on us and just tucked behind us. Maybe that racing point was just a bit unstable. I'm not too sure. But Yeah, I don't really know what happened to Perez. Shocking outcome nonetheless. So with the safety car out, we were not the only car to make a pit stop. After we made our pit stop a lap later, a lot of the front runners got off their soft tires, and pretty much all of them chucked on another pair of softs. So that means all of these guys are making another pit stop before the end of the race, as we are back with green flag conditions, and we make a move on Max Verstappen. Pretty bold there. Maybe not smart, because now Verstappen is just filling up our side mirrors. This rear view is not an actual rear view mirror. It just kind of helps us out as we go inside, now outside on Nicholas Latifi. And Latifi's easily going to get swarmed by us, maybe even Max Verstappen. But Verstappen has to tuck in behind. So with the traffic that we're in right now, you know, the good news is we don't have to make another pit stop. The bad news is, if we did not pit, I think we would have actually been in P1, and we would have had a lot of clean air to deal with. Instead, you know, we're stuck behind the Williams. First Latifi, now Russell. We do the same exact move on Russell, except this time, Russell tries to hold it on the inside, but we're able to accelerate out the corner better with fresher grip, and overall a better car than the Williams. And we now fast forward to lap 12. We are in P12. We still have Max Verstappen behind us, but it won't be for long, because Verstappen is all over the back of us. He is all over our diffuser. Now to the outside, we have Esteban Ocon out of the race. We have Max Verstappen beside us, so we lose a position, but we gain a position because Ocon is out of the race. He's had a retirement, no safety car, no VSC. There's also a lot of the front runners down pit road. Everybody's making their final pit stop with, you know, half the race distance to go, and you see most people are chucking on the hards until the end of the race. Meanwhile, for us, we're hoping our hard compound tires can just make it to the end. Actually, it looks like Lewis Hamilton has put on the medium, so that's interesting to watch. You see Lewis Hamilton is 3 seconds behind us. Watch that gap shrink like it's nothing in the blink of an eye. Not just because of editing, but because Lewis Hamilton caught up to the back of us almost immediately. But Lewis caught up to the back of us at, you know, pretty much the worst point, to where, you know, the straightaways ended, and it's pretty much impossible to overtake in all these tricky corners unless you're really bold, which Lewis decided to stay conservative and just wait until the straightaway, knowing that he is pretty much going to be taking what should be the lead of this race, because we're technically first amongst the cars that have made their final pit stop. At least I think we've made our final pit stop. I'll get into that in a second. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton does make the move on us. The cars ahead of us, Kvyat, I believe it's his teammate Gasly, and one of the McLarens. They all had to make another pit stop, so we're not too worried about them. We are mainly worried about the guys behind us. The reason why we pitted under the safety car was to get track position now to hopefully just hold on to at the end of the race. So we got Albon behind us. We're not too worried about Albon. He's on fresh mediums. We're on pretty old hards, though. We now have Leclerc on the back of us as well. So this could get a bit messy, as Albon is not exactly threatening to make the move. He's got the inside, but Albon cannot make it stick. Albon pretty timid, and he is still stuck behind us now as we are on lap 18. Albon inside, now outside, and he's going to try to force his way on the outside. Alexander Albon, whoa, he's going to get it done. Albon around the outside. Wow, that was a daring move for a guy who did not want to go on the inside of us with a much safer move. He gets it done, though. I guess credit to him. It definitely compromised the both of us, and now we have Leclerc behind us. I'm not trying to battle these guys. Keep in mind, I'm not really trying to battle Albon. I'm not really trying to battle Leclerc. I'm just trying to run my own race and get the best finishing position possible, as we're catching up to the back of Albon. Inside, no! We're going to stick behind Albon and not Leclerc. Leclerc with a shocking exit, and we re-overtake the Ferrari. We are scrapping with Albon and Leclerc when I really don't want to be. I just want to run my own race at my own pace, not lose time battling these guys, because this is a lost cause trying to battle the Ferrari and the Red Bull, because they're going to overtake us eventually. So you see Leclerc is just literally filling up our rear view. He is way faster than us, but he just doesn't have a spot to pass us in the second sector, and maybe he does have a spot here. Leclerc doing the same thing Albon did. I think Leclerc got a piece of the wall as I tried to make that a 2-wide corner as Leclerc is locking up now. Leclerc is literally all over the place. It's literally not really an overtaking opportunity, but Leclerc and Albon both made it. They forced it to be, and all I had to do was just make sure I didn't put them in the wall. Just try to be as considerate as I possibly could, but easier said than done. So now let's focus on our next problem. It's not Sebastian Vettel overtaking us. That's fine by me, as we lose 2 positions to 2 Ferraris in 1 lap. Our next main concern with 7 laps to go in this race is tire wear. I said that we had made our final schedule pit stop. Well, we might have to make 1 more pit stop. This is deja vu of what we did in Monaco, where we pit early and we tried to go to the end of the race. Except in Monaco, we were on the mediums. Here in Azerbaijan, we played it safe. We went to the hards. I mean, we didn't play it safe. We did our only strategy as far as trying to go to the end of the race. But these hard tires are wearing out on us, and I'm a little bit scared we might not make it to the end of the race. But also, I'm a little bit worried that our pace is really falling off in this race. We have made a lot of great strategy calls this season. I don't think pitting under the safety car was one of those great strategy calls. You see, Bottas is all over the place. I need Bottas to get on with it. Once again, I'm not trying to battle Bottas. I'm not trying to battle Verstappen. Low-key, I'm not even trying to battle the McLarens behind Verstappen. I'm just trying to run our own race at our own pace. So these guys need to get on with it. I do appreciate the DRS, though. I definitely appreciate the DRS we're getting from Bottas, who is now on the back of Sebastian Vettel. We fast forward to nearly the end of the lap. This is where most of the overtaking is done, pretty much all of the overtaking. So you see a lot of action going down on what probably is the longest straightaway in Formula 1. The China back straightaway rivals it, but man, oh man, this straightaway feels like forever. Look at Verstappen like a speeding bullet. Last second swerves to the outside. He's got the move done, and we're not even going to fight it. We tuck behind Verstappen so we can get some DRS down in the second main straightaway, and we hold on to P7. But with 4.5 laps to go in this race, we are in jeopardy of losing our position as a points runner, getting points in this race, because these tires are completely shot. Everybody behind us has fresher rubber, including Norris on the fresh softs. So yeah, that's why I'm feeling like our strategy play, pitting under the safety car, was not smart, because you know, the time we potentially gained by not making another pit stop, I feel like we lost most of it in traffic. You know, in the first couple of laps after the safety car went out and we went back green, as you see Norris forces the move on the inside. We had no choice but to let off and let Norris go, because at that point Norris, he pretty much had the corner. He had more grip than us. He was going to make it stick. It was just up to us to protect ourselves. And that's all I'm trying to do at the end of this race, just trying to protect ourselves. And with Raikkonen and Ricciardo right behind us, protecting ourselves might mean finishing in the 11th position and not the 10th position, which is still a good result for us, but you know, I feel like with better strategy, we would have easily been in a better position to have points. If we just stayed out and ran our own race in first place and then made our pit stop, you know, on green flag conditions, I think we would have actually been better off. So a bit of a lesson learned there. I mean, it's not the first time we botched a strategy. I think we botched a strategy in Australia as well. Though right now, I'm just trying to focus on making these tires last. You see, it's at 74%. We fast forward to the end of the race. At some point, I've hit a wall to where our wing is yellow on the right side, which is not too much damage, but it's damage nonetheless, and it's causing Kvyat to be right behind us on fresh softs. It's causing Ricciardo to be behind us. Ricciardo hasn't made the move. Kvyat's trying to make the move on the outside, but he doesn't exactly have the maneuverability of a Red Bull or a Ferrari to go on the outside of us. We do our best to hold on to this final points position. We are backing up cars behind us, but thankfully this is the last lap. If there was one more lap in this race, we would be absolutely doomed as we smash into the wall. Whoa, more of the wing is gone, and now we will be under attack from Kvyat. Before we cross the line, Kvyat slipstreaming, DRSing, doing what he can, and it will be the Cookie Monster getting P10. We limp to the finish line, getting 1 point in this race. What a point it was for us to get. Oh man, that was quite the adventure. we hung on. We did all we could, made sure the tires didn't wear. More importantly, making sure the car didn't break down at the end as we just started bouncing off of walls. man. That was nerve-wracking. That was absolutely nerve-wracking. We completely folded at the end of the race, but we didn't have much of a choice. Our tires were giving up on us. So we get a P10. It could have been better. It could have been worse. We'll just settle with P10. We'll have to settle with the damage cost after banging up our wing pretty badly in that one. But it's a point. It's a point. It keeps us ahead of Perez in the driver standings as we go to Claire.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Claire, you and I are watching different races. Sometimes Claire gets on your back for, like, you know, getting contact with cars when it doesn't even result in damage. Quite the opposite here from Claire. Like, we made contact.
Things looked close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you?
So that means that we have officially won our rivalry with Antonio Giovinazzi. GG's to Giovinazzi. And, yeah. Okay, next question. I think I just talked over Claire. Yeah, I do feel like we were lucky because we crashed a lot.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah. So we get this rivalry won. That means we get some driver acclaim for ourselves. And yeah, we pissed off the durability department. Not exactly what I meant there. I said we took scrapes. It wasn't because of the durability. It was because of me. Though at the same time, when we had better tire wear, I feel like we could have made that strategy work. But we just have to know that we can't do these long stints that we've tried to do in these last two races. So a bit of a lesson learned as we go to Canada. We are starting to enter what should be a good portion of the schedule for us. We got a lot of fun racetracks coming up: Canada, France, Britain, Hungary. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of races. Leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed what you guys saw today. Subscribe for more F1 2020 gameplay, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you as always for watching.